Well, hello, and welcome to Seeing Ink Spots, my Facebook business page. My name's Elizabeth Price, and today it's time to have a little bit of fun doing some stamping. Today's class will feature paper pumpkin, and as soon as I see someone pop on, we will begin. But hey, just a little bit of banter before we officially begin. Sorry, had to move the seat around just a little bit. What's new for you? I have 3-week-old puppies in the house, 7 of them, and they are very adorable. They're just now getting cute. They've opened their eyes, they're starting to walk, and in the next week and a half, we're gonna start to see some personalities develop. So, there are some people joining me. It looks like we have Susie watching. Hello, Susie. And Deb Anderson is watching. Hello. So now that I know that there's a couple people here, I can officially begin with good Thursday morning and welcome to Seeing Ink Spots. Today's class is Upstyle Your Paper Pumpkin Daisy Daydream. This is the March kit, and wow, it was fabulous. It still is. Fabulous. I'm really enjoying the paper pumpkin kits. I always have, but lately the coordination with the die sets, it's blowing me away. I just absolutely love how the dies are working with everything. It's just really exciting. I'm even going back to the Mary Tags and More again because that fern is great. Hello, Deb. Thanks for shooting me a comment. I appreciate that. Karen, hello. Carolyn, hello. Excuse me. Still got whatever's had me verklempt for all of February, but good to have you here. I'm gonna show you my hand up close and personal, and I'm gonna switch the camera around just a little bit so that we can do just a little bit of business so you can see what's coming up. My classes that are coming up for April and even into May. And then we will stamp because you guys, I have 8, I'm not sure if we'll get to them all, but I have 8 projects planned for today. Cross your fingers, right? So here we go. Here comes the hand. And here goes the switch. And it's always in the worst spot where I can barely get to it. All right. I'm just doing a little adjustments here. Looks like we're going to see a little more of my surface than normal, but that's okay. All right, next week in the Backstage Pass will be my mashup class. This will be my second mashup class. And a mashup class is where I'm going to take 2 products from either online exclusives or the catalog, either one, and bring them together because they were just meant to be. And the Everyday Arches and Everyday Skies DSP was just meant to go with the Adventurous Sky stamp set and dies. And let's see, do I have them? I do have them out here. So every now and again, I am prepared. But, so I haven't even opened this pack of paper. I have seen the paper, but these are all different prints that are, are skies. And so aren't they perfect for this bundle right here? So I'm excited. These cards, I will be focusing on men, okay, and boys, and they could even be, for women, girls, but that's what I'm going to shoot for this class. So join me next week in the Backstage Pass. Now, if you are not a member of the Backstage Pass and would like to be, please put a text, not a text, but a comment and say, how do I become a member? You become a member by simply joining one class. One class gets you into my VIP group. And you guys, we have a lot of fun there. So there are a lot of things to see. All right. 2 weeks from now, we are going to be having a Use It Up class. And so this is the last of my kits that's going out for Use It Up. With the changes coming on the 15th of April with Stampin' Up, now that everybody's going to earn rewards, what an exciting change we are about to approach. I'm making a few changes to my classes. I will still have Use It Up classes, but no longer will there be a kit. But so this is the last one, and we are going to focus on the Spring Corners bundle. All right. This is going to be super, super cool. So that's coming up in 2 weeks. And in 3 weeks, we have technique time. Technique time. This is a first. And a first in that I'm going to be doing a kits collection focus for technique time instead of a bundle. So we're going to be focusing on the Brightest Birthday Kits collection. You guys, I have made the projects and they are fantastic. I've taken the kit and just amped it up. I've turned it up to Artfully Avid and you're going to love it. So if you want to do this class, you need the Brightest Birthday Kit. Or, this is the first time also, I am offering 3 options for technique time. The usual class packet or PDF, or new to this one, if you need the kit, let me know, and I will have a kit for you as well. Meaning the kits collection and a class packet. So, you can pay for that and I can send that to you. All right, so, and then in 1 month we will be upstyling the Inked Occasions Paper Pumpkin Kit. I have no idea what to expect with this, but this really has me quite intrigued. I'm loving this look right here. And I have ordered, they're coming. I have ordered my new dies for this coming up quarter. Get yours. They're really, really nice. And then coming up in May, we have a fantastic opportunity. This will be a full day stamp class on Saturday, May 17th. I'm going to focus on the heirloom arrangements, and this is going to be beautiful. I've got some great plans for this, and as usual, we'll have stamp presentations, stamp classes, lots and lots of content, challenges, video, a virtual swap and share, so all the good stuff on a 1-day camp rather than a 4. So this is Studio Ink Spot's Kits Collection. Today, we're upstyling the Daydream Paper Pumpkin Kit. What did you think of it? I love the pieces in this, and you're going to get a little sneak peek coming in here in just a few minutes. All right, so let's see here. Let us begin with our first card. And I always like to just kind of get my feet wet just a little bit with pieces from the kit. So I'm going to start with one of these card bases. I'm not going to do anything extra fancy to it. We're simply going to give it a fold and a good burnish. So there's our card base. I'm going to use this piece here. I think this piece is gorgeous. And what I didn't notice when I first popped it out of the kit, it just looked like it, had a print on it. But this is actually, it's got some clear coat to it. So these little honeycombs, you can see them kind of sparkling and shimmering. And you know me, that's what I love. So we're going to use that piece. We're going to use a label from the kit. So these are all pieces from the kit, you can see. The daisy, I liked this. I could have used about 10 more of these. And I'm going to use a bee, excuse me, a bee, and 3 of the honeycombs from the kit. Now, just like this has some clear coat on it, these have a little sheen to them as well, the ones from the kit. What's fun is we also have the die that will cut that exact piece, and it's a perfect match. And then you can do it in any color. So, and I am going to do that. I'm going to do it in a little bit of Wild Wheat and Daffodil Delight later on. Okay, so this is all from the kit. However, I am going to use one of my favorite friends, and that is linen thread. So I'm going to add a little linen thread to this. And instead of the Lost Lagoon ink spot, I'm going to use, I prefer with this kit, Pebbled Path. And I think it's important to bring out Pebbled Path because Pebbled Path is retiring at the end of this month. It is a 2023-25 in color. And this and Wild Wheat, I'm going to be sad to have them leaving. They're such good earthy, natural colors and go with a lot of things. So let's start this card out with linen thread. I'm going to simply take a piece of linen thread here. Let's see how long this is. This is 16. This is about 27 inches. So 26, 27 inches, just enough to come around your card base and tie a bow. And I like my bows. I don't like the bows super, super huge. I don't like them small either. But I do like some longer tails. So this is going to be a bow with a little bit of a longer tail. And I'm just kind of trying to hold my finger there. I could put a glue dot there to kind of hold things down, but that's good. Good and ugly. But just go ahead and style your bow. Hunker it down, tighten it up. And I kind of, everyone's like, how do you tie your bows? I'm like, I tie them just like you, but I also fidget with them and style them to look good. Then once I think I have it the way I like it, I kind of tighten it up just a little bit by holding my finger on the knot. Okay, nice. All right, so you can see it took me a minute to get there, but I'm finally there. Now I'm going to take my piece of the this layer here, whatever it is, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on it. And I'm going to use my regulars and my minis because I want to get some minis right down into this area right there. And then let's see, we'll get a mini right there and right there. Let's pull these covers off. Looks like I brought a few extra along. And then I'm just going to use regulars for the rest of the card, or the rest of this piece rather. We'll put one right there so it doesn't sag. Well, and maybe one more mini right there, just to kind of level things out. So we'll add this to the card base, and I'm going to actually bring the linen thread up through this center cutout rather than it going around on the outside. So for just a slightly different look. So we'll bring this here and here. Well, first off, let me slide this over just a little bit. We want it right about there. So I'm going to bring this up and through. Just a little bit of a change for some interesting dimension. Hey, get out here. Behave. And then we're just going to center this right on our card base here. Pull these out. Get this just where I want it. But I kind of like that, a little bit different. Okay, so there's my first little bit. Now the rest of this is just going to be adding a little bit of a scene here and stamping a greeting. Now you could stamp any of the greetings here. The thank you, happy birthday, but I really like this happy birthday. I like sweetest birthday wishes. So I'm going to stamp this one on this label here. And it would help if I had a color. Do I have some color nearby? I am going to borrow some color from a card base. I'm not going to get this ruined, but I just want to see, I have a little contrast so I can see the difference between my grid paper and my label. And I'm going to stamp the greeting just right center. I'm not going to over impress. Just enough pressure to get a nice crisp greeting without over pressing and, making the letters kind of blur out a little bit. So, sweetest birthday wishes. That is it for my Pebbled Path ink. And we'll put this card base back and we'll bring this around. And so let's just start to layer these pieces. So this is going to kind of tuck right in here. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of the daisy, but not here because you could see on my placement, it was actually going to end up on this layer here. So I don't need it there. Whoops. So just a regular dimensional. I'm just going to sneak that right in there. And then I'll put glue. Oh, I forgot to unclog my glues. Usually I unclog my glue before we go live. But this is life in the dry climate of Idaho. You have to unclog the glue every, hour or so. On my precision glue, it's even less time. But just a little bit of glue down there on the bottom. Let me get this dimensional cover. And then we'll add our daisy. It's going to just kind of come right up in here, off to the side. And then my greeting here is going to slip right in there. And so I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Yep. So I'm going to put one dimensional there. And man, my fingers are already super sticky with glue. And I'm going to put another dimensional there. So I've just double stacked that there. And then this side is just going to get a single layer. Okay. And then that way it's popped up just a little bit. Okay. And so we'll add our greeting just like so. Now we're going to add our 3 pieces of the honeycomb here. I really just love this stuff. And I am going to bring in some precision glue here. But again, got to do the unclog. And so now my fingers are super sticky. And can she get the pin in the hole? Oh my goodness. You guys, I am so sticky. I've never, usually not this sticky so fast into a class, if you know what I mean. Okay, so here we go. Just little dots. It doesn't need to be covered everywhere. Just a few places will hold it down. All right, so just enough of that. And I am going to be watching the direction of my honeycomb here. Meaning, so I'm going to have this one kind of set. And let's see, I'll tuck some of this underneath. Maybe, if I can get it in there. Come in at it. Well, we're getting tanked. There we go. So this one's just going to come up in there. Okay. And now what I meant by my honeycomb is, you see, this is going the same way. If I turn it this way, then the point of the honeycomb is going up. And I want all of the points, since I put that one down, we're going to keep these flat. So we're going to do another one there. So we'll do just a little glue on the sides here. Look at that shaky hand. Okay, and tuck that kind of right there. Here I say I'm watching the directions of them, and then this honeycomb's going the other way. Oh, well. So much for consistency, right? And then this one, I'm just going to kind of tuck right down in there just to give it a little bit of layering action. Just to kind of layer these pieces. That's enough. And we'll just kind of accent right in there. And then my bee, I'm going to do something kind of fun with the bee here. I'm going to bring the wings up just a little bit. So bend them up a little. And then the legs, not the antenna, but the legs, I'm going to push them down just a little bit. Just to even increase the dimension on this, so that when you put that on, it has just a little bit more dimension. And so I'm going to add my bee right about there. So I'm going to use a mini dimensional. I could kind of see where I was going to go with it. And now I'm going to just cover that with the bee. Cuteness. All right. Last thing I'm going to do here is, you know I'm going to do it, and that she's always invited to the party, and that is Wink of Stella. And so I'm going to Stella the wings and the bee, and let's give a little wink to the daisy here. Just bring them to life just a little bit, and then we'll give just a little bit of splattering. I call this stellize. I'm going to stellize it. Okay, and there you have it. There is our first Daisy Daydream alternative project where I've just retooled the pieces in the kit, but added just a little bit of linen thread. All right, so there's card number 1, 7 more to go. But you know, we get started, and then they get harder and harder as we go, right? So let me organize myself. I kind of grabbed a project for that one. But let's do this one. We'll do the one that I was just showing you, the blue card base, in a minute. All right, so here's all my notes. Here are my pieces. We are going to make a hinge card. And my friend Julie showed me this hinge card a little while ago. I had never made one, but I tell you, since then I've made several. So we're going to make a hinge card today using pieces from the kit. And And I just think they're kind of cool. I was going to say, I did a hinge card for Paper Pumpkin Creatives this month, and it's a double hinge card. So it's not just a hinge on one side, it's a double. And so if you want to see that project, ask me how you can get Paper Pumpkin Creatives, and I can tell you. No, I'll tell you right now how you can get it. You can get Paper Pumpkin Creatives just by being a team member or a subscriber, or you can purchase it for $15. And it has 14 very, very amazing projects in it, and the directions and details are top notch. Okay, Paper Pumpkin Creatives. All right, so this hinge card, we're going to use all of these pieces here. I have one of the modeled light card bases. I have a flap of the envelope. Okay, so just a flap of the envelope here. It's because I used another envelope in another project, so it's a leftover piece. I have a bee, and I have, this is one of, the 3 daisies that go across in kind of like an arch. I've cut it apart, and so that's a piece of that. And then for the main part of the card, this is the punch out from our first card. Whoops, knocked one of my stamps over. So this is the punch out that was here. We're going to use this, only we're going to turn it upside down. Okay. So we have a white one, and then we just have a bunch of daisies and bees, and we'll see what we're doing. So let's start first with cutting apart this card base here. So I'm going to cut this right, don't fold it. I want you to cut right in that score line. Okay. So this is going to be the back of our card. And then we're going to trim this piece down. And we're going to trim on all 4 sides just because I want to keep this piece centered. And we're going to trim it down to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to start by just trimming some off the side. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a 180 so that I'm working on this side. And I need it to be 3 7/8. So I already took some off that side. Now we'll take some off this side. Yes, we are going to lose some stuff, but that's okay. And now I want it to be 5 1/8 inch tall. So we're going to take a little off the bottom. And then we'll take some off the top. Okay. And we want 5 1/8. So now I'm looking for that 5 1/8 measure. Okay, so this is going to be how my card will look, but we need a hinge over here. So let's be cutting our hinge pieces, and we're going to cut our hinge pieces and our inside layers with this piece here. So the first cut we're going to do is we're going to just cut this in half. Okay, cut number 1, cut it in half. Easy enough. Now, for the hinge, I'm going to cut a piece here, and I'm going to cut this to be 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so I've rotated along the long edge. I'm cutting at 1 1/2. Save this. I'm going to rotate this so that along the long edge, I am going to score it at 2 1/8. And this will be my hinge. In fact, this could be a little bit shorter, but it's the piece that we're using from the kit. So there's my hinge. And now I need a couple more layers. And so what I want to do, let me show you what we're going to do. Let me bring these pieces in. Each of these are going to get a layer. So with this larger half, I'm going to add a layer on top of this. So let's cut that layer first. And so this layer, oh boy, my comments are there. I wasn't scrolling. Sorry about that. Nice touch with the bee. Thank you. I'm just going back. All right. If I scroll up and then they don't move. Anyway, so sorry about that. Delay of action. Here we go. Back to our hinge card. This one, the inside, our first piece is going to be 3 1/2. So along this short edge, we're going to make this 3 1/2. And then I want it to be 4 3/4. Okay. And so this will be a nice layer. And this measurement, I wanted it to be smaller than this outer piece because it's going to hide underneath. So I didn't want it coming out, okay? Although that would be a nice look. but it's going to layer in here. So this is where you would sign your card. And I actually think I'm going to do this, folks. I'm going to rotate this way because I kind of like this for the hinge. So we'll put this piece here. So this is where we're going to sign, and that will be centered. And then this piece will be over the top, so you won't see it. So that's the measurement for that. Again, let me just go over. So this is a quarter sheet. This one's been taken down to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This one is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And now this last one is going to line the inside of this piece. We're going to add a layer there for some decor. And the reason we need to do that is because we're going to have a hinge in here, and we don't want to see the hinge, okay? So we're going to be covering it up. It'll be on the inside over here. Okay, you'll see in just a second. So this piece here, we are going to cut this one to be 3 by 4 1/4. So it's already 4 1/4, all right? So I just need to trim this down to 3 by 4 1/4. Okay, that's a nice piece for creating a label. I would hold on to it. Some of the others I would toss. So this one is going to go here, okay? So let's start with just these layers. But first, before we do that, I want to talk about my envelope flap here. So it is an envelope flap, it's a scrap, but what I want to do is create a pocket for this side here. And so what I'm going to do is, and this will just kind of be the perfect spot, is I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. And then I'm just going to make a little bit, I'm just going to sketch some lines here. So there's a line, here's a line. I'm just going to actually wrap this and make it, let me just slide that over. We're going to score. Now score gently because this is an envelope, and so it's not super, super thick. So score gently on each of those little pencil marks. So that's going to be my bottom. And we're going to have to go this direction because that's the straight edge. Okay. And then this one, okay, we're just going to have to really move it off to the side here. There's that one. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim some of this off. We don't need all of that. And I'm going to trim this on a 45. Let's trim some of this off. And we'll just give this a nice 45. This is all trash. And now we'll take our piece here and we'll fold this. And so we're going to wrap this piece to create a pocket. So it's just going to kind of be like that. Then there you can, it's a nice space where you can tuck a gift card or some cash or whatever you want. So let's just give this a quick glue. Oh, sorry for the dogs barking. The one is sad because she's not out with her buddies, but she needs to be with the puppies. All right, so there's my pocket. Cool, I like adding pockets to cards. Now, let's kind of do some assembly. We know this is gonna go here, but we're not gonna glue it yet. It's kind of hard to see that layer, right? Because we need to glue the hinge first, okay? Oh my goodness. They're going crazy. So this first hinge, I put glue on just 1/2 of the tab, and I'm going to glue this right to the center of my card. I'm eyeballing center. I guess I could have used my grid paper. So there's that. And now to put this one on, I'm not going to put glue on the whole thing. We're just going to center this. Okay, we'll center this. And I'm just going to kind of hold my finger where I don't want glue. And we'll glue this one on. And so now you can just kind of, when I center, I'm actually looking at my corners here, and that my corners hit, that they dive right in. Okay, so there you have, this is the hinge card right there. So we've just taken that out and added some cool detail there. All right, now to make this just a little bit more finished off, we'll cover the hinge there and we'll cover the hinge there. What am I getting on stuff? All right, so let's add these layers. Okay. Again, just kind of a nice layer here. And we'll add this one. I like this little pocket, different way of adding a pocket. And an effective way of using up an envelope flap. Okay, so we'll center this one. There's that. And then I have a bee and a flower set aside for this one. So we'll probably do something like that. We'll see once we get there. But let's work on the front. So the front of our card, we're going to use the circle here for sure. And that's just going to kind of come right up in here. I'm going to go a little higher than lower. And then we're going to have flowers and some honeycomb and a bee and a label. And so for this one, I thought let's stamp thank you on this one. And I'm going to stamp my label. Let me bring in some contrasting color here. And I'm going to stamp it again with the Pebbled Path. You could also use Mossy Meadow or Old Olive. I like the Lost Lagoon, but not for this one. I don't have any of the blues in here. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to stamp this off to the right side just a little bit. Okay, again, not over impressing because we don't want to blur out our words. Nice. Not a whole lot of stamping going on. But let's start to add these pieces here. So I'm going to add this with a dimensional, of course, right? And be sure you're flipping it over so you have the printed side. We're going to disguise that. Just flip it over. I enjoy adding circles to cards. I think you already know that. So just a little higher than lower. Okay. And then we also have our thank you is going to kind of come across in here. So on this side, I'm going to go ahead and add one dimensional. Okay, so that's going to come around. Then our flowers, we're going to just kind of finish off our kind of, what we have going on. So this bigger one is going to kind of set up in here. And then we'll take this one. It's going to come up in here. And then this one. So it just kind of looks like we have a whole bunch of daisies going on in here. And then we'll take a bee for sure. It's going to slip in there. And I'm going to do the honeycomb. We'll tuck that in there. So let me do the honeycomb first. Let me just kind of slide those out. Again, just a few little dots here and there. We'll add that. And then we'll add our greeting. And I think I'm going to add this. We're going to get some extra dimension out of this. We're going to double this up. So Big Mac the one end. And then we'll level it out. I'm going to miss the Pebbled Path too. I'm also going to miss wild wheat very much. I know some people hate it or love it. I love it. So yes, long live Pebbled Path and wild wheat. I like the copper clay and the moody mauve and the boho, but I use the other two a lot. So you saw me just kind of bend right here at the center of the flower, just adding a little bit of a dimension to my flower here. And I'm going to add this to my card with, I'm trying to see where I need to put, I may need to move that up just a little bit, but it looks like I'm going to have to put my dimensional on that layer there. And I am going to move this up. I'm going to wiggle it up just a skosh. There we go. And then we'll add our flower here. Maybe I can get this on because I don't want it to be too high into the, thank you. Okay, we want to be able to read it. And now these are going to come down here. So let's do the same thing. Just give them a little shape. So I'm just keeping my thumbnail in the center of the flower and pulling these up. That one's going to go there. We'll put it on with the dimensional. It looks like I can do a nice big one. That one's going to come in here. And then this one, let's do the same thing. So I asked this last week, do any of you have a favorite new in color? Those of you that have seen them. I'm still not convinced on the placement of this one. Let me bring that over just a skosh. I really like the cloud cover. Holy moly, I just love that color. In fact, you're going to see it here in a minute. So I would say that's my favorite new in color, is cloud cover. I also like the Secret Sea. Okay, I want to rotate the center of this just a little. All right, now the last thing, we'll add our bee right there. Let's do the same thing. Bring his wings up, legs down. You know, once you find a little gimmick with something, I say keep repeating it. Okay, and then we'll get him stuck on here. And I think with this card, I think I want to add, let's see, do I want him there or up on the tag? Let's put him up on the tag. There we go. Turn him just a little bit. Okay. You know what this one needs? Another dimensional. It's just not quite holding itself in place. So put one right there. And I think we've got this figured out better. Okay. Now I'm going to add some gems to this. I think, so what I have on hand today, I have the iridescent pearls, and I also have the in color shimmer gems. These are fabulous. So we have some yellows that are in here. Susie says she also likes the Secret Sea and cloud cover. Hello, Kim. My friend across the sea. So these look great. These could be really pretty, and these could be really pretty tucked in and about things. So I think I'm going to do the pearls for this one. And let's see, let me grab my take your pick tool. I like to use the little hobby blade. And I'm just going to kind of add some pearls. I love these iridescent pearls because you have more smalls than you do big, which is kind of really nice. So we'll do a couple there. It just makes it so that, you know, because I often like to use the smalls, a couple smalls with one big. So there you go. So we'll add another one kind of right up in here. Ah, yes, it is nice to catch me live. Kim is you guys, Kim is awesome. Kim and I were in were we group 3? Yeah, we were group 3. We were in group 3 together last year as artisans. So we had some fun stamping together. All right, so there's my front, keeping it pretty simple here. We're going to stylize, of course. We'll accent the bee, and I'm going to get these centers, and I'm brushing out a little bit onto the daisy petals. We'll get this one as well. And we'll stylize, of course. But I also have some Stampin' Blends out with me, and I like to use the Stampin' Blends to add just a little bit of splattering. And let's see. Okay, you guys are going to laugh. So can you see how destroyed this tip is on my Daffodil Delight? That's from flicking like this in the lid. Okay, so I've destroyed the tip. I no longer do it that way. I actually use my bone folder to just add a little bit of splattering that way. And then that preserves the tip. The integrity of the tip is no longer being destroyed, if you know what I mean. Okay, so there's just a little added dimension there. The front of this, you guys, in person is stunning. Let's flip this open and do a little finish here. So let's go ahead and grab our daisies. Got to glue that one down, as well as our bee. Okay, we'll give it a little stellize. Everything needs to shimmer. And a little bit of wild, this is wild wheat. And this is Daffodil Delight. Okay, so now you know why I call this splatter knocking, why I knock on the barrel instead of flicking. It's just to preserve those tips. All right, so this, we're gonna give it a little dimension here. And I think, I'm not a huge fan of that leaf. It looks a little awkward to me, but we'll leave it. So I'm just gonna glue down, not the whole thing, but we'll put a little glue there because this is the inside and we don't need any more bulk. And I think I'm gonna add my bee over here, but I am gonna add, here I said we're not gonna add more bulk, and guess what? I'm gonna add bulk. Hey, break your own rules. That's the beauty. Oops, I didn't grab the dimensional, I just got the backing. That's the beauty of stamping. You know, there's no right and wrong. It's what you like. Okay, and I wanted that to have a little bit of lift. All right, there you have it. I agree, Deb. Cool to splatter. I like, it just kind of breaks up some of the starkness of things. And I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some that just kind of collected right in there and over here. It just softens it. It adds some dimension. As I mentioned the other day, I said it's like looking up into the sky at night when you see stars. Some are brighter, some are darker, they're further away. That's why I use a couple colors, but it does. It creates dimension. So here is our hinge card, complete with a pocket that you can add, you know, fold up some money or a gift card, or as I always say, my grandma and grandpa used to always put a stick of gum. Usually Wrigley's, you know, double mint or, you know, whichever flavor they had. This is beautiful, you guys. I love it. And it's all because of the content kits, the kit's content. Let's say it the right way. The pieces from this kit are just fantastic. All right, it's time to move into some of this blue. So here are the pieces we're going to use for this card. Now, I should have brought some Pool Party out with me. Oh man, that was a mistake. Oh well. Well, maybe I have some here in my box. Here's the box from this kit. Is this just not the most beautiful paper pumpkin box? Trying to see if I have any Pool Party in here. I don't. I can tell I don't because I know what's in there. I thought Pool Party was the color to go with this kit. And as I was doing it, I'm like, oh, no, that's not it. This is really almost cloud cover. I don't know what color they're calling it in the kit, but it sure looks like cloud cover to me, especially when we put cloud cover next to it. Here is cloud cover, you guys. So it's, you know, just a little bit lighter. So we're going to be using cloud cover on our next project. So a little sneak peek of that, but let's just give this card a nice crisp fold. And this is going to be another easy card with elements from the kit. However, this time I have pre-cut some of the pieces from the, where's my other bee? Oh, I've lost the bee. Oh, shoot, Queen. He'll show up around here somewhere. Okay, well, my second bee may make an appearance in a few minutes. Okay, so, and because I don't have any pebbled path to cut. But these are the dies. So the bee and the honeycomb are in the spring is in the air dies. So this was for January, February, and March. But talk about awesome dies. I used a lot of these last month. Okay, so that was Pebbled Path, and these are Wild Wheat. And I don't know if I have another bee here sitting in my tray. A die cut one. I don't. Shoot, Queen. Oh, that's a bummer. because I know it's around here somewhere. I'm just looking to see if it's under my paper here. Nope. Okay, well, all right, we're going to just go with that. We're going to roll with it. We're actually, this piece here that has these nice greens with the bouquet dots, I'm going to flip it over and use it as white. I'm going to bring in Pebbled Path again to stamp my greeting. I could use, let's use Lost Lagoon this time. We'll use Lost Lagoon. I wasn't planning on it, but we'll use Lost Lagoon because we are bringing in some of the blue, and now it does make sense to me. So here's the Lost Lagoon spot, ink spot. And this greeting here that says, thank you for always being there for me. I'm going to ink that up with the Lost Lagoon. Tap, tap, tap. It takes a little longer to ink up with these little spots. Bring in my note here, Post-it note. And I'm going to just stamp this right in the center. I love this handwritten font. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, we'll close that. Get that out of here. And now for our stamping, we're going to do a little bit more stamping. I'm going to bring in some Versamark this time and the big, huge honeycomb image. But I need to clean this up. It's got yellow on it. I should have done this ahead of time. And I forgot a cleanup pad, but I always have wipes on my little cart. So we'll just give this a quick clean here. Okay. And then let me dry this off just a little bit. I'm still getting a little bit of yellow coming off. All right. So what I want to do is add just a little bit of background image to my card base here. And so I'm going to get a perfect tone on tone by using the Versamark pad. Let me bring my scratch paper back in, even though it's Versamark. And I'm just going to give myself a little bit. So I'm going to kind of give myself a little pattern right in here. Hi, Lori. So there's some. Now, it's going to take a second or two for that to show up. You can barely see it on the camera. I definitely see it here. So I'm going to stamp that image again, only this time I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. We're going to go this way with it. And it's okay if it overlaps just a little bit because there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to cover it up. All right, Marsha McCune has jumped on. Okay, so there's my Versamark honeycomb. And we'll tuck that away. Don't need that right now. I'm going to go back to that big honeycomb image in a bit here. Not for this project, but for one coming up. Okay, so now this piece here, let me show you what I've done with this. This is the way this piece comes, right? And it's cool and all, but it's a little too stiff for me. So I've just cut it right there. You can see I just cut it apart just a little bit so that I can get just a little bit more shape with it. We're going to bring our circle in. So I'm just going to do a real quick dry fit here. And I'm going to do a bunch of honeycomb this time. And so I'm going to honeycomb here. This is the wild wheat that I've die cut. And I'll do some more like right in here. And then I'm going to take, these are the ones that came in the kit that have that nice sheen to them. And so these are going to kind of come on top. So they'll come in here. We'll kind of repeat them down in here. And then I wish I had my other bee. If it shows up, my plan was to have, and my flowers aren't totally in the right spot just yet, but I'll get them there. I was going to have a bee in here and another one right down in here. So we're missing a bee. It will show up in the pictures. Speaking of pictures, all of these projects will be photoed and up on my Seeing Ink Spots business page tomorrow. All right, so now that we kind of know where this is going, let's take it all off the page I'm trying to see if you can see that background stamping. It's a little faint. You know, we could do it with the Lost Lagoon. That might be kind of pretty. But anyhow, we're going to bypass that for now. And let's add our circle here. And this green is really pretty, but not for this card. Just didn't quite want to do it. Okay. And so let me kind of bring my greeting. So I'm kind of off to, I'm going to be a little bit more off to the one side, like so. And then our greeting's going to come in here. And let's do some splattering on this. Let's use a little bit of, this is Pebbled Path. And I'm just aiming for the circle right now. And it's going over a little bit, and that's okay. But I just wanted to really kind of make that stand out just a little bit. And here's a little wild wheat. Get that second color going there. And we'll add some dimensionals to our greeting. I'm not going to peel the backs off just yet, but that's going to kind of come in there. And now let's place our flowers, because this is going to kind of be a bulk of everything. So, and of course my dimensional is in the way. But if it's in the way, we're just going to kind of lift it up a little bit. Okay, so this, we're going to tuck and layer underneath. And then this one, we will tuck and layer underneath here. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of move this around just a little bit. I shouldn't have put my, we'll get that kind of going there. I want just a little bit of a gap because that's where I want my bee to be. But I'm trying to figure out this guy and how I want, I think he's going to tuck. He's going to come around even more. There we go. That's where I want him. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll put just a little bit of glue on this. Well, let's go for this one first. So I'm not going to put this on dimensionals. These are going to be more flat. So I'm just kind of gluing that side. And then we'll tuck this under. And I'm basically hiding this big old piece of greenery, but that's okay. It's kind of intentional. Whoops. Get that right in there. So that's glued, but then I can give this just a little bit of a, we'll just lift these, just kind of like we did the others. Giving it just a little bit of life. And then this one here, pick this one up. Let's put glue on this, we'll just kind of right in here. The dimensional will also catch this. And then we'll do the same thing. Once we get this on, I'm going to come in and add just a little bit of lift. In fact, I could even put, this is kind of showing more, I could even tuck a dimensional in there. This is what I do. I do this a lot, but I'll take a dimensional with my hobby blade. I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Oh, did you hear Alexa? She just said, I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Lovely. All right, so I do this a lot. Is I'll go in and if I feel like it needs a dimension and I can reach in there, I will. All right, so that gives that a little lift, but it's also, you know, it's lower on this side, and it works nice because then I don't have a lot of bulk going in there. Okay, so there's that. Getting cute, folks. Just wish I had my other bee. Not meant to be, I guess. Ooh, bad pun. Okay, let's take these honeycomb. So again, these are wild wheat cut with the spring is in the air dies. And we're going to do, so these are going to be the ones that tuck underneath, the wild wheat ones. And then these that have that sheen to them that are from the kit, these are going to go on top. Okay. So And I think I'm ready to put my greeting down. Sometimes I wait just a little bit to get it in just the right spot. Right in there. I like that I've overlapped it into that upper one. Now let's grab this one. We'll bring this kind of across here, just like so. And we will put our bee. See, I was going to do one out there, but I think I'm going to do one kind of right in there for now. And then once I finish, we're going to add another one in here, and you'll see that in a picture. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bend these wings up, and then we'll glue the body to the card. Okay, just little touches of glue. So we'll get that one kind of right about there. Well, either get it all the way on or all the way off. Okay, there's that. Let's do this bit of honeycomb is going to come down in here. You know, I really, you can see this little bit of honeycomb peeking through. It's a nice, very, very subtle touch. Hopefully in pictures you'll see it just a little bit more. But I would encourage you to grab your Versamark pad, especially when going to stamp with cloud cover. The cloud cover ink is not available right now, so they are hoping to have it, but it has, the formulation is not quite right. I was talking with somebody at Stampin' Up, and they had announced it at On Stage, but what's happened is when they make a few of the ink pads in-house with the formulation, it's great. But then when they go to do it, when they mass produce it, that's when there's a shift in the color. And so, got to get it right. Okay, there's that. And I really want my other bee, because it'll kind of just bring things together. This could also use maybe a little bit of twine. I wasn't planning on that. But let's come into our shimmer gems, because I do want some shimmer gems, because look at these Summer Splash shimmer gems with this is really great. And so I'm going to use some of these. And I'm going to kind of tuck a big one right in there. And then we'll take a small one, and I'm just going to kind of come out that way. So I've got two there, and I think I'll do another one down here. I'll do a small, kind of counterbalancing these two. And then let's take, so if I've got my other bee there, or my other bee may go right here, we'll see. But let's do another big, and we'll tuck that underneath. And then we'll do a small, kind of right out here. Or, yeah, out here. Okay, so just imagine another little bee right there or down here, we'll see. But let's go ahead and just finish off these daisies the way we have been. And we will stellize the blue. And oh, is this a pretty, pretty card. Just pretty. Rearranging some of the elements. And we'll add a couple more bees. We'll see what happens. All right, that was project number 3. Number 4, you guys, is going to be a fancy fold here. And I've got a ton of pieces for this card. Let's see. I've got some gold twisted thread. Be still my heart, you guys. I'm crushed. This is on the last chance list. I am so bummed. This is such a great accessory. Get it now while supplies last, okay? Gold twisted thread. Long may it live. All right, let's see. What else am I using on this card? Okay, I have, let's see. I've cut apart 2 envelopes for this card. I've cut apart a blue and a honeycomb bee one. And so I've got a lot of pieces. So here are the pieces from the blue. We'll go over these measurements. So I cut apart the blue envelope, and I've cut apart the bee envelope. And you know what? The flap of this one was on our hinge card. So that's where that is. All right, I have some white willow, okay? That's white willow. I have from the kit, one of these pieces. And I have die cut the honeycomb from The Spring is in the Air. These are Daffodil Delight. And let's see, also from the kit, another circle. So this is another one of those from the punch out. So we're gonna use that. And here's a label from the kit. Another label from the kit. This is a big card, you guys. And some daisies from the kit. So let's see. We are going to also need, I told you you would see some. This is cloud cover. So this is cloud cover cardstock. And look at it, how it matches the box. You know, so I was thinking this was going to be pool party, but it is, I think it's cloud cover, or it's pool party really lightened up. So cloud cover, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I have another piece of cloud cover. So let's go over our measurements and what we're gonna do. I'll do the measurements of the individual pieces as we need them. But for this card, this is 11 by 5.5. So you're gonna need 11 by 5.5. And this piece here is 11 by, I think 1.25. Nope, it's 1 5/8. So 11 by 1 5/8. And we'll be trimming some off. Okay, so let's go over those first. Because I have some score lines in here, let's do these. So even though they're there, I'm gonna pretend we're doing them for the first time. So our first score line along the 11-inch edge, the long edge, we're gonna place our left side at 1 1/4. So take your cutting blade out of the way. We're at 1 1/4 is our first score line. Our second score line is 5.5. Okay, so right in there at 5.5. And then this last one is going to be 9 1/4. Okay, let's get that. So right there, 9 1/4, we're gonna make that fold line there. All right, so that is our scoring. So let's fold our card. So this one is going to fold inward, okay? This one's gonna fold inward. So we have inward, inward, now that way. So we have valley, valley, mountain. And this is going to be our card, all right? So it's gonna tuck in like so. But this is going to be, instead of a portrait card, we're going to do it in the landscape layout because I was using the envelopes as my designer series paper. So that's why we're going to go landscape instead of portrait. So let's just give a good burnish on these fold lines here. Okay. It's a good start to that. And now I have 2 pieces of paper that I'm going to line these 2 areas, okay? And so these pieces are cut from one of the envelope. And this piece here is, let's get an exact measurement. It is 5 3/8 by, what is that? So we said 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So let me just double check that one more time. I'm going to double check it with a ruler here. So yes, so we have 5 3/8. That way you guys can see the measurement by 3 5/8. Yeah, it's the 5s that are throwing me off. Okay, so that's going to be this first piece. And you can make your layers however you want. It doesn't have to be exact, but that's going to layer right in here with a fairly tight border all the way around, okay? So it's not going to be a lot showing. Now, because this is such thin paper, I'm actually going to do something really weird here. I'm going to put my glue on my cardstock layer here. Notice I'm not going all the way to the edges, but I just don't want it to show through. So let's layer this on. Just give myself a nice border all the way around. So there is that layer, okay? And now let's do this top one. And so this tucks underneath. This top one is going to be the same 5 3/8. And I think it's 1 1/8. I am right, 1 1/8. Okay, so again, it's just for a nice tight border. Now, to get this out of your envelope, you'll notice that like this is from one side of the envelope, and then my smaller pieces are coming from the side of the envelope where you load in and bring the flap down. So I do have some of that here. I'm not going to worry about that, okay? But let's do the same thing, and let's put our glue on this layer just to help it from coming through onto the other side, onto our envelope. And I'm just going to shut this. And I'm choosing to put the heavier honeycomb side on the left to kind of counterbalance this one, okay? You don't have to, I'm just kind of pointing some things out. All right, there is that. So here is the start to the front of our card. Now, for this layer here, you're wondering, what are we going to put there? We are going to put this piece that I said earlier feels really stiff to me, because it is. We're going to put that one there, and as this flaps down, it will kind of reveal like so. Okay? So let's just add a little glue to this. Okay. So just curious, what's new with you guys? Now that we're coming into a spring season, what do you have planned? Any trips coming up? And I'm just kind of eyeballing. I'm okay with it overlapping a little bit. So that piece goes right there. I say before we decorate and how we're going to finish this, let's move to the inside and see how we're going to finish the inside. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with our white willow here. And with the white willow, I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping on this. Not a lot, just a little. I am going to stamp with Lemon Lolly. Okay, and this is the honeycomb image. And in this corner here, I'm just going to stamp off the page a little bit. I've got a little honeycomb action there, and then I think I'll turn it upside down, and I'm going to do just a little bit more right there, okay? So keeping it really simple. I know it's, oh, there's a good look. Okay, so that was Lemon Lolly, and I didn't want it too dark. And now I'm going to use a little bit of Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to bring back my, what is this? Pebbled Path. We've got a mess going. Okay, so here's Pebbled Path, and I'm going to stamp the bee. And so this image is from, it's from the stamp set here. So here's the bee image. And I'm just going to do that kind of right up here in the corner. Okay, that's the bee. And now here are the wings for the bee. I'm going to ink those up in Pebbled Path. And I'm going to stamp them off, and I'm going to stamp off I'm going to stamp off hard. And I'm going to stamp the wings in here. Just set them right in here. You got to love doing, two-step stamping. Who doesn't love two-step stamping? Okay, now one more step, and that will be with Daffodil Delight. We'll do the body. And so there is a stamp in the set for that, okay? The skinny little end goes in his bum, in the stinger. And so this will just kind of stamp and fill in those spots right there. Is that not the sweetest little bee or what? I love it. Okay, done with those ink pads. I'm going to keep Pebbled Path open. I will go back to that one. But let's do, while we're here, I'm going to do just a little bit of splattering. And I'm going to concentrate it kind of up in this corner. Okay, that was Pebbled Path. Now let's do a little daffodil. This is an older one. It needs a little bit more knocking. I actually have new daffodils on order because those are pretty bad. Now this piece is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so it just has that little 16th inch all the way around, and it feels like I could chop a little bit off the bottom. I'm going to take a little bit off this edge. And I'm going to do that with my Happy Chopper. Thank you, Rose Carey. So just a skosh. When I'm just taking like a hairline off, I use the guillotine. Okay, so just a hairline. I just felt like it was a little tight vertically compared to side to side. And now we'll layer this in. And now if you remember, I said that this is a piece of white willow. And I like the white willow with the paper pumpkin kits because I think it's closer to the white that they use in the paper pumpkin kits. Okay, I'm glad I trimmed it. It needed that little bit because when you have the score lines, it kind of eats up some of that space. Okay, so that's our inside layer so far. And now I have several more pieces of this blue. Okay. All right, so this piece here is going to set right there. Okay. And again, look how you can tell it's an envelope piece. And I'll do my glue right here so it doesn't come through too much. So this is just going to sit right there. Okay. And this one we're not going to need. But look at this one. Look how cute this is going to be right down in here. That's going to layer right there. But before we layer that on, I'm going to take, I told you I had some gold twisted thread here. This piece here is a lot shorter, and it's about 14 inches long. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a bow in the middle. So I'm just making a bunny ear and another bunny ear. So we're just going to tie a bow. I don't want it to be too huge. Okay, so I just want to really hunker down on it, make it nice and tight, and know that it's going to hold its shape. And now I'm going to take this piece here, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to this bottom edge down here. I'm going to add some there, and I'm going to add some right there. Now I got it on my fingers to add to the sticky, right? And so I'm just going to kind of lay my bow down here, and I'm going to bring this across one side, and then we'll bring this across to the other. We're just looking to be even here. Get over here. Behave. So once you kind of get that where you want it, really mash it into the seal. Okay, I'm going to trim this one off. Okay, so I just wanted a little bit of a layer on this, and I felt that by adding that, I can tuck. If I wanted to glue dot a card in there, a gift card or something, or maybe I even think a photo would be really pretty in here. But I just felt like my daisy was kind of floating because it is doing just that. It is floating. And so by adding that ribbon there, or the twine, the twisted thread, I felt that it just helped to ground that flower just a little bit. So there's my inside of the card, kind of pretty, and it folds up. Now to decorate this and close it, we're going to make a belly band. Of course, I've got my flower. Man, it hit the glue for about 2 seconds earlier, if you remember. Okay, now I've got glue on my belly band, which we don't want. But we'll just take that off, right? Okay. And now what I want to do is we're going to make a belly band to close this card because it needs a little bit of that. And so it's going to reach around like so. And what I think I'm going to do is to start this, I'm just going to put a score line because we have more paper than what we need. But I'm just gonna make a 1/2 inch score here, just so I have a nice clean score there. And that is going to go around to the bottom, towards the back. And then I'm going to bring my belly band. It's gonna kind of come up and around, get it where you want it. And I'm gonna draw a line right here. And now I'm gonna put one more score line there. And actually where my pencil line is, I'm gonna shift it to the left just a little bit to give me just a little bit of an ease so it's not too tight, okay? And keep your pencil nearby because we're gonna wrap our belly band one more time. So we're gonna have our seam be in the back at the very bottom here, okay? And that's, to me, the best way to hide it so it doesn't show. Sometimes I do it behind the focal and sometimes I just kind of do it there. So I'm gonna do another little pencil line. And now I know what to cut off. Okay, and we'll glue our belly band around the card. And so what I'm gonna do here when I do this is I'm gonna put glue on the tab, on the end of the tab, not all the way to the fold. And then on this one here, I'm gonna do glue on the end as well, and we'll bring them together. Okay, so this goes in the back. So my tab is in the back, folds around. Oops. I got glue on my card, right where I didn't want it. Oh well, I'll clean it off in a minute. Okay, so I'm just kind of tidying that up. I play around with where I put the seams on my belly band, but it's just to hide things. So I'm gonna pull the belly band off before it gets too sticky because I have glue there. And I'm looking at this label going, oh, you forgot to put the inside greeting in. So we gotta put the inside greeting. So that gives me a chance to open this up one more time. Okay, so we're gonna put our greeting is going to come, and I was gonna do it here, but I think I might do it there. I don't know, you tell me. We are going to make this be a birthday card. And so the inside is going to say, let's see, there's a good one in here. What does it say? We haven't used it yet. It's this one, enjoy your special day. So I'm gonna stamp that with Pebbled Path. I bring my dorky paper in again so I can see what I'm doing. Enjoy your special day. And we'll glue that to the inside. And I think I am gonna glue it because this card already is pretty puffy with all the folds. So we'll glue this. I just haven't decided if I want to maybe do it here, or we could even do it there. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing it there. I was planning on it here, but I think I am gonna do it up there. I like the contrast between the blue and the white. So enjoy your special day. And then it also kind of, it kind of plays off of the B a little bit. Okay, cool. All right, we've got our greeting in there. We'll close this up, bring our belly band. We're in good shape. I got rid of the adhesive. Okay, so there's that. And now we're going to take some gold twisted thread. Long may it live. And I'm gonna wrap it around, let's see, am I planning to wrap it around twice? I think so. So wrap it around twice. Let me even this up just a little bit. Okay, so it's wrapped around twice. We're gonna tie it. And we'll tie it in a bow. And I think, Oh, I don't have any glue dots out here with me. How did I forget glue dots? All right, I'm really gonna just anchor back on it. Honker back. Okay, so I've got my bow. It's not very centered, but that's okay. We'll just trim one end. You know what? We're gonna go one time around. I'd like a bigger bow. Okay, one time around. Because I really wanted it to come out the sides of my circle. So I know how we're gonna do this without an extra glue dot. We're just gonna use a mini dimensional. And now I can tie. This may be better than a glue dot. Oh, hi Barbara Campbell. How you been? Okay, so that is, and yeah, we're not gonna see that dimensional. It's fine, it's smashed in there. This may be a new way of holding like the shape of your twine. Okay, so that's gonna go kind of like so. I think I'm gonna make this one a little bigger. Yeah. And now this will kind of go over top. That's what I want. But this one could be a little smaller. All right, so now I'm going to put dimensionals on my belly band here, and we'll sandwich the twine, the twisted thread. And then I'll do a couple. I'll do like one right there and about right there. Okay, that way I know they're going to be under the circle, but I'm also kind of sandwiching. I'm not going over top of the knot to create any extra bulk. Okay, but before we put that on, let me bring my scratch paper in. Let's give this a splatter. And I think for this one, I'm gonna splatter, we're gonna go a little different. Nope, not this one. We're still gonna go pebbled path. The next card, we're gonna add in a little green. So a little bit of yellow. Or a lot, like I just did. Oh, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Barbara. You made it back from Raleigh, okay, I take it. Okay, and there's some pebbled path, a lot of it. Now we can put this on. Okay. Just like that. And we can give our twisted thread a little bit of a trim. Okay. Now, I will tell you that this stuff will fray a little bit. And if you like it to fray, go ahead and do it. Or here's what I've been doing is I've been creating, I'll do just a little dot on the end of my glue here. And I put another, and I just kind of put it, the end of the twine, or thread rather, right in that little glue bubble. And that will help it from unraveling. Okay, so now it's all about just adding some fun to our card, our layer here. And so we're going to add in some flowers for sure. So here goes this one. Let's do the same thing we've been doing. Like I say, once you have a gimmick that works for you, keep her up, right? And so this flower is gonna kind of come right up in here, and it's gonna buddy up with this flower over here. And then we have this one here. I love this one. This one's so cute. And this one's gonna come over here. And then we'll take our little one here. And so these three kind of buddy up. Now, our greeting, let's stamp the greeting. So this is a birthday card. We have our inside greeting, and our outside greeting is going to be sweetest birthday wishes. Okay, again, even pressure, straight down, straight up. Get a nice crisp image. And I can close this before I wreck something, right? And I think I will give this a little splatter as well. So just a little yellow. It already has pebbled path. And let's put this on with dimensionals, of course. We'll just do 2 in the center, and it's going to come in the center of our little piece here. And then we'll have some honeycomb layers tucked inside just to bring it all together. Okay, so let's add the greeting first, and I'm going to be totally unlike me, and I'm going to put it on almost dead center. But I am going to shift, it's going to be center, but I'm going to shift it off to the side just a skosh, just a little bit. And then this flower's going on with the dimensional, and I'm going to put it right, actually I'm going to do 2 just to keep it nice and secure. I'm going to do 2 minis side by side. And that's going to come right up. Again, it's buddying up with this flower here, going right there. Now let's do the same thing, and we'll do these 2 down in here. And let me bring this one up as well so I can see where I'm going. I think that's going to go right about there. And then this one, I'm going to glue this one since it already has glue on it. And it's going to come right up in here, right on that. And then we'll add these, and we'll sterilize and be done with our, I don't know what this is called. Somebody called it a double fold back. I'm like, I don't know. If anybody's got a good name for it, let me know. I'd love it. So I'm just going to tuck this honeycomb way down in there. And I'm okay with it coming off the edge a little bit. I kind of like that. But what I really like is the splattering in there and the dimension that it creates. And then this one, we'll tuck that one right down in there. And you know, I played around with adding bees. It just looked better for that one to be solo. Huh, that's B-E-E. B-E. B-E-E, solo. Bad pun, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll tuck this one right inside. There you have it. You guys, this is sweet. I am going to add some pearls to this for sure. Let's see, here's my bone folder. Here is Stella. I feel like I need to give her just a little bit of, I need to prime her. Oh, I primed it too much. Oh well, we'll use that. Use that. Look at all that wasted glitter. Ugh. But now it's a little bit much in the brush. So be sure to get this bee. Okay, we'll get this one, and this one. And I'm gonna have to open up the card and get inside there. Get this one. And I'll get the inside later, but let's go ahead and just get some splattering going that way and a little bit more right there. Cool. Cool, cool. And we'll put our belly band back on and add a few pearls. It's a sweet card. Recreate it so you can see it in real life. So let's add some pearls. Again, I like these. So I'm going to just kind of accent the honeycomb here. So I've got a couple there. And let's see, let's do some kind of right. Maybe let's do one right there, kind of on the honeycomb. And let's do another one. So those two are going that way. Let's do another one like right in there. Oh, we're just going to load this up. We'll do one in here. And let's do one more. I'm going to do it like right in here. Okay. So we've just got kind of pearls all over. We've got shine from our Wink of Stella. Super pretty. So we need a name for this fold. So hoping someone will give me a name for that fold. All right, we're 4 in. We have 4 more to go if we make it. Got a half an hour. Let's see how many we can make in a half an hour. All right, this next one, we're going to totally do something very different here. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to take a 1/4 sheet of crumb cake and this cute image here. It's the flower with the leaves on the side. And I'm going to take some pebbled path. And we are going to stamp a full background on our paper here. Now, I have one already done, so I'm not going to do like the whole thing. We're just going to do some of it, just so you get the idea of what I did. But you're just going to kind of work to fill this all in, right? Just stamping all over, changing the direction and the angle. So stamp to cover the whole piece, go off the edge and everything. That's going to be the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to color. We're going to color this. We're going to use Daffodil Wild Wheat, Old Olive, and a white watercolor pencil. All right. So first things first, I'm going to color the insides of my flowers with the daffodil. Now, I'm not going all the way to the edges. There's something about coloring with blends on crumb cake that it bleeds a little further than what you're going to think. So I'm just coloring. Now I'm just kind of coloring the outside edge. And I can see, I didn't go all the way to the outside, but as it's kind of wicking into the pores of the paper, it's going to the edge. So there's my yellow center. Okay, that was those 2 colors. And of course you would do all of the flowers. And now for the leaves, I'm going to color these with light Old Olive. And again, don't get all the way to the outer edge because it will get there for you. Okay, there's Old Olive light. And now for the dark, I'm just going to kind of hit the lines that they gave us. Okay, and just let that blend. And of course, you do the same thing to the other leaf. And then with your white, you're going to come in and just color. And now notice I'm trying not to go over the lines. So, that, because I want those to kind of stand out. And I'm not going to blend this out. I'm going to just keep it as pencil. I'm not going to paint with it. But look how the flower starts to come to life and really pop off of this crumb cake color. Okay. Get yourself all the way around the petals. Okay, so now this one has lines on it, so I'm kind of going between them so that I don't cover them up. And I guess you could use a stamparatus and re-stamp, but not for a background paper. I'm not going to. Okay, so I got myself all the way around. Then the last thing I did with the flowers is I came in and I added Wink of Stella to the center, and I brushed out, just some light brush strokes out on each of these petals, okay? And it's interesting because the Wink of Stella has that little bit of color in it, right? So I did that to all of the flowers on the paper. I also came in with Pebbled Path and my Old Olive, the dark Old Olive, and I did some splattering all the way around with both colors. Okay, whoa, throw the lids away here. So I did that to my entire piece, and now I have it finished here. Talk about a sweet look in person. This is fun. So I have done a full piece of background paper. It has nice splatters all over, has some Wink of Stella. Oops, that one's missing its wink. So I can fix that just like so, just like I did on the one I just showed you. Okay, so there is my piece, and I'm going to mount this on a piece of crumb cake. So this is, we're using, the only piece we're using from the kit here, we're going to use a couple of the flowers, and we've used the images, but now I'm kind of busting out into some other supplies for this one. Let me just do, I'm closing my notes here, seeing what we're doing. And we're going to have some fun with this. I have this rectangle here. This is wild wheat. Yvonne, hello. I'm playing with paper pumpkin today. This is wild wheat, and this was die cut. There is a new set of rectangles. They are called textured notes dies. And this is a must-have tool for your library, because you get all these rectangles die cut for you, but each one has a different detail on the edge. They are super, super cool. You'll see more of this if we get to all of the projects that we're going to plan for today. If not, I'll at least show them to you. But here's this piece here, and I'm going to stamp this with Pebbled Path. You can also stamp this one with Versamark and emboss with white, but I don't have that with me today. So here we go with Pebbled Path. Just really inking up my image. Just want it nice and get some good coverage. And I'm going to stamp this. Look how great this image looks in this rectangle. It fits perfectly. That's the beauty of all these rectangles, is you know you're going to find the perfect match somewhere. Okay. Just really wanted that to, I held it there for a minute because I really wanted the ink to get into the pores of the paper. And so that's going to come in here. So we've got that going on. And I'm going to close my ink pad. We won't need it anymore. And let's see, let's take our flowers. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing, and that is to give them just a little bit of life by giving them a little bit of curl, holding that my thumbnail on the center of the flower and bringing these petals up just a little bit. You know, you could even cut these apart if you want, just a little bit. I'm just going to go right there on that line. And this will allow us to get even more dimension. Okay, just a little bit. You don't have to do all of them and all the way. But now that allows me to bring this one up just a little bit more. And this one can come up just a little bit more. We're just creating a little bit more dimension. This one can too. Same thing with this one. Just holding that finger there. Okay, just dimension without a dimensional. All right, so I mentioned earlier as we began that the paper pumpkin dies are just getting, every month they get better and better and better. And so this is from the last quarter. It's from October, November, December. So the Merry Tags and more. But the fern leaf that was included in this set of dies, man, it's just an awesome die. I have used it a ton. In fact, it just sits on my desk and I don't put it away. All right, so I'm using that, and in my stash of supplies, or actually on my desk, I hadn't put away, I had some papers left over from my Floral Delight class last week. And so this is one of the pieces of paper from the Floral Wishes Designer Series paper. It's kind of a linen texture piece, but it's in old olive. And it was the perfect color to cut out these cool fern leaves, okay? So I've done that with that die there. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Haven't put it away. I think they still might be available. I'm not entirely sure. But these little packs of die cuts for paper pumpkin are just, they get better and better and better and better. All right, let's put this together. So I have some gold twisted thread, and I'm going to tie that around my custom piece of Designer Series paper. Okay, and I'm going to move it over here to the edge. And I think I'm going to use that dimensional again just to hold it in place. I'll take it off in the long run. I'm not going to keep it there, but shoot, try again. But since I don't have any glue dots, that's kind of the perfect way to hold my thread in place. Perfect. Okay, so I'll style this in a minute. Or right now. Oh, look at the backside. It was trying things. It's the beauty of cardstock. You can try things out and see what works for you. But this is just going to go right on. So we've just given, so this layer here is actually 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So just for a nice tight layer into that crumb cake. This is coming off to the side. Okay, there's that. Now this is going to be super simple. And for a super simple card, it took me a while to get there because I had all of this coloring that I was doing. But it's the type of thing that, you know, put a movie on or listen to a podcast and just enjoy the process. Okay, and so this is going to come up here. Just bring that kind of up towards the top, just a little bit. And now my flowers and my fern leaves, I'm going to do my big flower over here. I think I have to move this over. Okay, so my big flower is going to kind of fill this space right in here. Okay, so I'm going to put some dimensionals. I'm going to kind of straddle the knot of my gold twisted thread. Can't believe they're not going to continue this. I am so sad. I am super sad. There's that. And of course we need to trim this side. It's a little long. Again, you can go in and glue those ends if you don't want them to fray. It's a quick little process. You saw it earlier. Now let's put this one on. Okay, this one's just going to kind of tuck right in here. And now watch this. It's cute the way it is, but it's also cute if we bring in these. And I might trim some of this off. It's a little big, so I'm just going to go just like that. Take some of that off, and we'll do the same thing. I think I'm going to make this one even smaller. And just kind of tuck it. I'm just lifting up my dimensionals just a little bit so I can get my leaf in there. And then we'll glue this one in. Actually, I'm going to put this one on with a dimensional. 2 dimensionals, just because it's a little flimsy. Cat, you're here! Yay! All right, so there's my fern leaves, and we'll just fold this over just a little bit. I'm going to make this loop just a little bigger. I've kind of tweaked that loop, but that's okay. And I feel like I could maybe lift this just a little bit higher. So I'm going to. Yeah. All right, and there you have it. And of course, it already has a little bit of Wink of Stella, but let's just do that much needed. Just a little bit on these flowers. Just for a little bit of added fun. And of course, if you wanted, you could add some gems or just leave it without. But there you have playing with the stamps in this kit. That was number 5. Let's see, folks, number 6 is going to go easy. This one's going to be quick and easy. Here's the blue card base from the kit. Still wondering what color blue this is. If it's a lightened pool party or if it is cloud cover. I mentioned that I had the Floral Wishes paper on my desk. I also have the Floral and Gingham vellum that was part of that sweet collection on my desk. And I have die cut using the rectangles again from the Textured Notes dies. Thanks, Jolinda. I thought it was kind of pretty. It's a little different. Anyways, I've cut 3 of these vellum rectangles from that paper. Okay. And I'm going to add these to my card base. I'm going to add them with seal just so that it doesn't show. And what's amazing when doing it with this seal, how it doesn't show. It just boggles my mind. I'm like, hey, how is it that it's not showing? But it doesn't. It's so cool. Okay, so I'm just going to add some seal right across the back of that one. And we're just going to kind of put this over here, kind of like so. We'll just kind of do these three. This is going to be a really quick and easy card, a simple layout. I'm just going to do these three rectangles are going to be, they're going to set the stage for my focal point. It is going to be right like that. Talk about easy and cool. This was a scrap on my desk. It is a white, basic white circle, and this was cut with the stylish shapes. I think it's the second to smallest die here. And I'm going to stamp the word hello. So they've included this tiny little stamp in this set, and I think it's so awesome. I'm going to stamp it with Pebbled Path. I guess I could use the Lost Lagoon spot, but I really like the Pebbled Path better. Okay, and I'm going to just stamp this, not dead center, but kind of just off to the bottom here. Cute. That is a cute stamp, you guys. What a fun one to have in my stash of stuff. All right, so let's give this a little splatter. Let's put a little bit of light. I'm going to do a little light Old Olive and some daffodil. Just to soften it a little bit. All right, that was a little Old Olive. So this is a super, super simple card, you guys. We're going to take the daisy from the kit. I told you I wanted about 10 of these. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of that one. And a dimensional on the back of the bigger flower. And I think I'm going to glue the rest. Okay. I'm going to glue these flowers. And I'm not going to do lots of glue because it's going on vellum, and glue and vellum, that sometimes can cause a little bit of some puckering. So this, and I need my greeting as well. This is just going to kind of come right up in here. Just how it lands is fine. And then my greeting is going to tuck right about there, but I'm going to do it with a dimensional. Okay. And I'm going to let that leaf kind of come right in there. And then to finish this, I have a piece of linen thread here. And I'm just going to tie it in a bow. And I don't have any glue dots, so I'm going to have to use a little puddle of glue. Okay, I'm holding that knot to keep this bow tight. And then I'm going to grab my ends here and trim them. And we're going to add this right to this daisy stem. Just kind of right about there. Okay, but my linen thread is not shaping the way I want it to, but I will tell it who's boss and shape it up. Okay, so I'm just going to do a tiny dot of glue right there on my stem, and we'll just wiggle that linen thread right in there. Might need a bigger dollop of glue, but for now that will suffice. And we'll add some of our gems, which happen to be the iridescent pearls. And so we're just going to add one here, and we'll get a big, and we'll come in like right about here. Well, maybe we'll just let that one sing by itself. Maybe we'll put one over here. And we'll do another kind of like right about here. Keeping it super clean and simple here for this card. Okay. And let's stylize, right? Because we can. and we should. Super sweet and simple on that one. I just love it. Hi, Carrie. All right, so this one, and is it Mariel? Hello, greetings. We're doing some over the top and then some simpler ones using our paper pumpkin kit and scraps on the desk. So here's a simple one. There's always a simple one or two. And now here comes another one. Well, we've got time for this one. I did have a piece of white willow for the inside of the card if I wanted to, and some of the other cards, I'm not even sure which one that was for. I didn't use it. All right, so this card here, I had half of this left over because this other half was used on another card for my Paper Pumpkin Exclusives video crew. So I should tell you guys, so team members and Paper Pumpkin subscribers from me get access to the PPX videos. There's usually at least 6 videos a month that are private. You can't see them anywhere but in these groups. And they're all alternative projects using Paper Pumpkin. And then we also have our Paper Pumpkin Creatives. That's the big PDF tutorial. So there's some good stuff happening. And so you don't see everything that I do because it's in some private groups, but you can join those. No problem. I just dropped my bee on the floor. Okay, so this scrap and a piece of basic white. So this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I have scored it already at 2 1/4 and 7 3/4. So 2 1/4, and both of these are going to fold inwards. So we have 2 1/4 and 7 3/4. Okay, so let's just burnish these. So this will be a gatefold card. It's going to be a portrait. And this we're going to have on the front. So what I want to do is I am going to cut this, and we're going to trim it such that it fits just right. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of open this up a little. And I know I could do it with measurements, but I'm actually going to do it with a tick mark right there so that I get an even better fit. So now I'm going to cut this piece, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but now I'm going to cut it into 2, and we're going to add it right to the top of our card base. So talk about easy on this one. You know what would be nice on this one that I probably should have done, but I didn't for time's sake, is just to bring out some of the depth in this, and maybe I will do it afterwards because I can still do it. And that is to take my ink pad, probably Lemon Lolly, because I wouldn't want it to be too dark. Lemon Lolly and a blending brush, and just ink up the edges a little bit, just to give it a little bit more warmth and dimension. Okay, let's put this piece of the puzzle back together. So we're here and here. Perfect fit. I can see that pencil mark just a little bit, so I'm going to give that an erase. Much better. Okay, so now my card opens like so. Okay, so this one's pretty easy, folks. Let's see, I got to look at my notes here. Wrong picture. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, so this one's going to be pretty simple. All right, so this, I'm going to use this to cover that, and it's going to open with the top layer. But I want to point out that we have this on here. So we want to make sure that that's going to actually be on the upper half, that when you open it, you don't see it, okay? So let's go ahead and put that down. I'm just going to flip this over like so. And it's going to be not quite dead center. You're going to go a little higher than center. And I'm going to put my dimensionals on here. Just like that. And then we'll just flip this over and add to the card. And then I always kind of give a double check just to make sure that I don't have any of my mechanics showing. So there's that layer. Ooh, these vellum labels. These are kind of cool. Haven't used this yet, but we're going to use this with we're going to kind of punch up our greeting. It'll set behind our greeting. And I'm not sure what that's for. Or that. Maybe they're going on the inside. I don't remember what I was going to do with it. I don't want this on there yet. Oh, sorry. We got some work to do here. Now I know. All of that for nothing. You guys, I do this all the time. How about you? Just take those off real fast. Bring your scratch paper in. And I'm going to bring in Lemon Lolly and Daffodil Delight and the honeycomb image. I'm going to ink up the honeycomb image in Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to add a little Daffodil Delight with my blending brush. So I'm just going to kind of pounce some color here and there so that I'm getting a couple different shades of yellow. And let's see, I kind of did it on this side, didn't I? We'll just add some of this to that side of the circle. Let's do the same thing. We're going to do it again. Let me stamp off some of that daffodil. There goes the Lemon Lolly. A little daffodil in a few areas. And I want my honeycombs, again, I kind of want to make sure that they're going the same directions. Oops, I got to turn one more time. We'll do it like right about there. Okay, cool. While we're here, let's go ahead and hit it with wild wheat, just to kind of pump up the yellow tone. Very good, very good. Now we can put it back on the card. Okay, so at least I know where my dimensionals go. We'll hit them in almost the same place. And you'll never know that I had to take it apart. Okay. And again, one quick check. Cool. Nothing shows. Nothing shows. All right, so for this one, I'm going to stamp the Enjoy Your Special Day. Let's stamp that one, and I'm going to stamp it with the Pebbled Path. You know, Old Olive would look really good too. So would Mossy Meadow, but my Mossy Meadow stamps lighter than my Old Olive. No matter how much ink I add to it, it always just stamps, not so great. So let me re-ink just a little bit since I chatted. So this is another label from the kit. It's a slightly different shape. It's a fun one. I like it, a little more curvy. And so this, I'm going to take some seal across the back, and then I'm going to line this, and I'm not going to do it right exactly behind. I'm going to kind of do it off a little bit to the side there, just for a little difference. Of course, I did that a little too quick because this is some of the honeycomb from the kit. Let me just add that honeycomb in there. Okay, so we've got a little dimension there. And this is going to go across our card like so. And we're going to add some linen thread. I already have a bow of linen thread pre-tied just for time's sake. And so that's going to kind of come right in here. And I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to sandwich two dimensionals side by side. And I'm going to squirt just a little bit of glue right here. Just like that. Get in there. Give it just a little bit of a poke. Get it into the fibers there, that it really stays. And so that will set up and will be nice. It's not going anywhere. And then I can bring, let's get another dimensional in here. And we'll do one more just for security's sake. And so this is going to come across the bottom. Oops. Hey now. Did you notice that the dimensionals are honeycombs? I'm sure you did. Okay, so that one's there. And then we had this one tucked inside. Let me give it just a little bit of glue just to keep it really in place. Claudia, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, so there's my, take off some of the glue that I just smeared. There's one of the honeycomb. My linen thread is coming through. I love linen thread, but man, I really love the gold twisted thread. It just makes everything so regal and beautiful. Okay, there's my linen thread, and I'm going to do one more honeycomb here, and it's going to kind of come up a little bit higher. Okay, just little touches of glue here and there. I should probably use my precision tip, then it won't be getting all over. There's that one. And then we're going to put a bee on this. So dimensional on the back. And we'll curve the wings up, legs down for that little added bit of dimension. We're going to add that right there. And that is it. We're just going to keep this one sweet and simple. Just like that, we'll add just a little bit of character here to the bee. And we will splatter some Stella. And then to provide just a little bit more emphasis to some of these flowers, we'll just hit these, that centers that show, with a little bit of Stella there, okay? So just a quick and simple gatefold card, and you can add some more decor inside if you'd like, which I would do, but just trying to give you some quick ideas. But you know, letting this piece of paper, this card base, kind of be the star of the show of this one. I've got some glue oozing out. We can't have that. Got to correct our mechanics there. And if you want to add pearls, that would be cool. Or even, I was thinking with this one, that these yellow are rather pretty. And you know what's really cool about these yellow ones is they have, there's some texture to them. And they you know, some crisscrosses, and they're angled, and they're really kind of pretty. So let's just add a few here. Let's do one there. And we'll do another one kind of up in here. And let's do one that let's just kind of do it in here. Just kind of, you know, just have some fun with these. And then let's do a few more down over here. It's called using up the gems. Sometimes, you know, we have them and we seem to hoard them and they don't get used on too many things. So maybe here, and we'll do one more kind of down in here, a little bigger. Okay, having some fun. This one, I'm not sold on. I feel like maybe it should be a little higher. It's fighting the center of the daisy. So let me move it up here to the leaf, and it's still fighting with the center of the daisy. Fussy, aren't I? Maybe we'll bring it over here to this side. That's better. That breaks it up. Okay, fun, different. That's number 7. Let's get into number 8, and we'll call it a day. All right, so number 8, this is a piece of basic beige, and it was a full card base, and then I cut 1.25 inches off. So you're gonna start with basic beige, 5.5 by 8.5, or actually 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, and then I cut 1.25 inches off, and from that scrap, this rectangle makes a reappearance here. And so I cut that from there. Rose said, fabulous cards, just ordered a refill kit. Yep, now you will be able to make lots of pretty cards. It is a great refill, and it is still available. So I would encourage it. Okay, I've also cut some more rectangles from the Textured Notes dies. Look at these. See how each, let me see if you can see it, but each border is just a little bit different, okay? Kind of fun. So we're going to use these. We're going to start with this one. And, you know, I'm going to, and this needs to be splattered, and we need to have some fun with all of this, but just for time's sake, pretend I've done all that. I'm going to put this card together, and I'll put some of the finishing details on it before I photo it. But we're going to layer this on the inside of the card. Okay. So that's on the inside, and it's going to show, it's going to have a nice pop of, you know, a little bit of presence here on this card. And then I am going to try and remember everything I was planning for this. This one's going to layer here. So we've just got another layer coming in here. And I might center this one just a little bit more. So I'm going to flip this over and glue. Okay. So I only want glue on the left side so that it doesn't glue the card shut. So this one's coming in here like so. All right. So there is my base for now. From the kit, this is one of the green. I'm going to flip it over and use the white side. I don't know what my aversion to the green side is. I'm going to stamp this greeting with the Lost Lagoon. No, I'm going to stamp it with Pebbled Path. Changed my mind. I'm allowed, right? Okay, so here is the Pebbled Path. And this is the thank you for always being there for me. We'll stamp that right in the center. Again, this is the perfect rectangle for this greeting. It's like they were meant to be. Okay, just letting that ink penetrate those fibers. Okay, really get them in there, since that's the greeting. So that's going to come in here. And now I'm going to use some things from the kit. Got this piece here. And that's actually going to come right in there. And then I have two more flowers that are going to be hanging out with all of this. And I have some gold twisted thread. It's already tied just to speed things up a little bit here. So let's add this all together. And this will be a fairly simple card when it's all said and done. But this is going to kind of cover this, this right half. So I just want to make sure that I'm not putting glue on some of those edges that are going to be cantilevering over, that are going to hang over the edge. So just glue the places where you know it's going to be touching the card base. Okay, you can always slip some more glue in there. So better to add less than what you need. So if it goes on to that end, it's okay. We just don't want it coming off these ends over here. Okay, so there's that one. This, I need to splatter now so that I can get to it. So, you know, you can splatter. Let's splatter with Old Olive this time just to change it up a little bit. Oh, my Old Olives are working very well. And I'm going to also splatter with a little wild wheat. Now, I don't usually order in color things as they're being, you know, put on the last chance list. I may actually get myself another set of wild wheat blends just to have on hand. Okay, now this one, we're going to add this with dimensionals. This is a sweet little card, but I just love how it showcases these frames and all of the different intricate stitching that are on the edges, and then this piece really well. So this one's going to come up here. Well, that might be just a skosh high. Let me come down just a little bit, just enough like that. And then this one, I really wish I had some glue dots here. We're going to go for some Seal Plus. It's like, can I get any on there? No. All right. So we're going to go like this. I'm Okay, that was actually pretty good. It's right where I want it. So I have a little Seal Plus because I'm missing some glue dots here today. Okay, so there's my gold twisted thread. My greeting is going to come across, and I'm going to come down just a little bit. It's also going on with dimensionals. So we've got some definite dimension going here. You could make it flat if you want it more malleable. This one, I'm going to come all the way across, a little further over. So basically, I'm centering it on the circle, not on the card, giving me just a little bit of that play of things kind of going from one side, you know, so the things aren't just dead center. Okay, like we've been doing, we're going to give these a little bit of curl with our fingers, and then we'll add a dimensional right there on the back. This one's going to kind of cover, and so it becomes part of this daisy chain down here and covers up the center of that. And then this one, let's do the same thing. Give a little curl, and I like to put 2 on this one just to keep it from teetering. Okay, this one is going to come over here to this side, just like so. And just look at that. I mean, it's just pretty. It's pretty and simple. Okay, and we will add, I have one last bee here, and so I'm not sure if I'm going to add it or not. It could go on the inside, could stamp on the inside, could just kind of come right in there, but I think I'm just going to let it be. Bad pun, bad pun. You know, sometimes you have to kind of play around with things. Does it need it or not? We'll just kind of let it be simple. But same drill. The nice thing about kind of adding the same sorts of details is then if you wanted to give these as a gift, you know, a whole collection of cards, they all go together nicely. And again, I would get some splattering going on the inside, maybe add another greeting in there just to finish it off. And let's bring in some of these white pearls because I think these will just be pretty to finish this. This one leaf there, oof, it's kind of strong. I'm going to do a gem in here, or a pearl rather. And we'll do another pearl just kind of over here by it. And then maybe one right up there. We're going to keep it kind of clean and simple. Just a few pearls here and there. And then maybe on the inside there could be some more. But I need to put a greeting. I do have another thanks for always being there. I mean, I do have another label that I could stamp something on there. And there you have it. We did it. It took us 15 minutes more than I planned, but that's okay. Let's see. We have, here's our kind of showing off these textured notes dies. Get them. So awesome. We have our gatefold, a very simple card here using up the some of my paper from another, you know, look at your stuff and how things blend. Here's a stamped card. So using the stamps rather than a lot of the pieces in the kit and kind of venturing out. We have a card that we haven't named yet, but it's kind of, it's a bifold with a belly band. So sweet. Love that one. This one that's missing a bee. When you see it, it'll have, see it again, it'll have more bees. I love the hinge card here with the pocket. It's a great one. And then we started out clean and simple with just using some elements from the kit along with some linen thread there. So those are my upstyled projects using the Paper Pumpkin Daisy Daydream kit from March. And I will have these photoed and up tomorrow on my Seeing Ink Spots, can I talk, Facebook page. Thank you. Your favorite. Do you have a favorite, or do you mean the kit's your favorite, Jolinda? It is a great kit. It really is fun. Just a reminder, if you're not a member of the Backstage Pass and want to be, leave me a comment. To become a member, sign up for one class and you're in. And there's a class there every Thursday at 10 in the morning. So lots and lots and lots of Stampin' content. I have so appreciated chatting with you today and stamping with the Daisy Daydream Paper Pumpkin Kit. I will catch you guys next Thursday in the Backstage Pass for a mashup class. See you then. Bye-bye. The last card. Okay. Oh, yes. I love this one. This was like the first one I designed. Daisy chain. Yes. All right. Catch you later. Bye-bye.